everyone, I'm Jackie. Welcome to my channel. If you know me, you know I love journaling, and today we are going to talk about my journaling ecosystem, where we started, what we're doing now, and what we're going to incorporate for next year. Okay, so we're going to start off with this reading journal turned planner. I didn't really want to buy a new planner in the middle of the year. I decided to just use up what I already had, and I had this reading journal where I did basically one entry. So I'm going to show you how I kind of broke it down, because this contained pretty much everything. Let me see from the sides what I could find. So at the beginning of each month, I bought these inserts from Daiso. So every 4 weeks I would insert this just to see like what our big stuff were for the month. And then before every weekly like layout that I made, I did a brain dump. So I would list the things that I needed to do, and I would always put a check mark next to it if I made sure that I inputted it in their respective days. So usually I kind of try to put all the things that I needed to do for a to-do list, just because my mind runs everywhere. I'm gonna forget even like the little small things, whether it be like wash my hair or make my bed and stuff like that. I also did pull weekly affirmation cards, so I'd always write this down and then I would read it every day, but I slowly stopped incorporating it and I started doing habits, because as you can see in certain ones it'd be like journal, read, make bed, run, aka workout. So then I would honestly switch it to a habits tracker, and I stopped doing this just because I kind of implemented the routine already and I didn't necessarily need to continue. But this was actually a really good way to make sure that I was hitting the marks that I needed to hit. Pretty much really easy when it came to making my own planner or like weekly inserts. They were kind of just really easy. I didn't care too much about the aesthetic. Usually I do care a lot, but I do think because this was already in a whole different kind of journal instead of a blank one, I could be a lot more messier with it. Usually I'm not this messy and I like things clear, concise, you know, looking really good. But I think because of that, I allowed myself just to have a little bit more free range with it. And also this was kind of my first time DIYing a planner, that I wasn't trying to be too strict about it. And then in the front, I kind of did some things like this was like manifestations. I had my vision board not in here. I printed it out, but then I wrote stuff that I wanted, didn't want, was okay with settling for, like career, my love life, what else? My creativity goals, my spirituality practices. I also kind of broke whatever I had here and in my vision board down into actionable goals. I'm not going to go through them just because they're quite personal, but I also made a checklist and broke them down into little like achievable parts just to make them easier for me, instead of like being like, oh, like these are such big things that I need to do, like I cannot do them. And then I also wrote down like my goals here for the quarter, like when I wanted to volunteer, what notes, these are sinking funds, budget ideas, advice that I got from friends, my study goals and schedules and stuff like that. This pretty much contained everything that I had. And I also, yeah, as you can tell, I completely did not care. So I usually don't like doodling and stuff, but yeah, did not care too much. I will say that this held a little too much and a little too much craziness. I didn't really like that I had to continuously flip back and forth. I ran out of space in the end because I didn't time it right, so my December stuff was in the front. None of the stuff are organized and color coded, so I definitely wanted to fix that for next year's. I really like that I was kind of lenient with this just because of that. So I was kind of scratching stuff out if I needed to. I didn't need it to look nice because this means that it was well loved and lived in. And I'm trying to keep that mindset with my next ones. I did like having everything in one place, but because this was my experimental year, I kind of carried the idea of an experimental year for this year, which is the 2025 one that you'll see soon, just because I wanted to see what it would be like to have things separately, and we'll get to that later. I think the design is ugly. Like, you could tell, like, I was just playing with stuff. Like, why did I use, like, what's it called? Like a felt marker. This looked kind of ugly. Yeah, as you can tell, they were just, it was not cohesive, and I didn't really like that. And I don't know, trying to figure out my style. This was fun. I almost threw this away, and I realized that this carried so much memory that I decided not to. But I don't know, it's good to look back on to realize what has worked and what didn't, because I completely forgot about the brain dump as I was reviewing this yesterday, and I was like, maybe this is something I could incorporate for next year or something like that. Who knows? But this was okay. I also forgot to bring down my gratitude journal. For my gratitude journal, I pretty much had a leftover journal that my friend Bandy got me, and that's where I was writing my gratitude in. And once I filled that one up, I stopped doing gratitude journaling. And then this is one of the 2 journals that I used last year, and these journals, they are pretty much what I write my daily stuff in terms of feelings. I can recap my days, but it's usually like really feelings based, and love her. Yeah, I love these journals. I'm gonna be consistent in buying these for these journals. And yeah, pretty much it for 2024. Okay, so 2025 had a lot of journals, and I do not know how I feel about it. One of my journals that is not in here is my journal that Jen gave me for my birthday. It is holding all like my tarot readings, my cards that I pull, my reflections and stuff like that, and reflections for like astrology, transits and stuff. That is in my deck area. I'm not gonna get it. So just imagine one little more like passport journal here, but this is the planner that I used. I was gonna buy a Hobonichi, but my mom ended up giving me this journal that she got from school. Personally, for me, I don't like the rings. I kind of like a binded journal, something like this. I personally don't like the size or the detailing and stuff like that. The reason why like some of these are missing like the beginning of the year for the January, February, and March is because I do cut these out and I use them for my junk journal over here or for my Hobonichi. But this isn't my favorite layout. It does what it needs to do. When it came to my planner, I just kept it because it was a weekly one and I just needed it to be done, need to use it. I didn't really use like a habit tracker over here in the notes. I tried to, and I realized I was hitting everything that I needed to hit for the most part. Like there was no point in just rewriting it down. I think it was going to be a little too redundant throughout the week. I will say that I did start incorporating my budget tracking here. I didn't do it for this week just because last week was a little hectic and I came back and I was trying to get back into the groove of things. And I think later today, maybe I'll probably go back to doing the budget tracking, but this planner, pretty easy. This is all I do. There's really nothing more to it. I don't even really use like the monthly spreads at the beginning of the month. Like they have like a notes section and then this month special occasion birthdays. I don't use this. I don't use this either. I don't really use it, so I don't really care for it. But yeah, I will keep her as memory, but not necessarily my favorite. So with that, this is something that I bought. My brother actually got me this for Christmas. Let me move this. These pals. This is a 5-year planner, and this is my first Hobonichi, and I love her. She's a little thick, but she's well loved. So my goal was to have 5 years worth of memories and photos each day or almost every day, and I've been keeping track of with it. I think it's really cute and fun to look back on. I like to decorate. At the beginning, I loved decorating and adding stickers and stuff like that, but I think towards the end I've just done just little photos. yeah, I've just done little photos and that's pretty much it. I don't really want to put too much stuff in it just because I've noticed the binding is curving a little and I don't want to put too much pressure on it. But it's really cute. It is a little thing that I got to do, that I got to put in my planner just because sometimes you will forget about it. But I like to recap my days and that's pretty much it. And then I actually got this planner because I was attending my friend Gigi's coffee and conversations, and the person who won it, I think she made this, and it was really funny because she called me over and she regifted this to me, and sunflowers in the color yellow are my favorite like things. Like I have a sunflower plushie, I have a sunflower necklace, I have a sunflower tattoo. Like I love sunflowers, so I actually cried when I got this, and in honor of that I ended up turning it into a gratitude journal. The only thing I don't like about this journal though is just because it's matte. The oils get everywhere, but I write things that I am grateful for. At first it was just like little lines and stuff like that, and then now I kind of list like the things that, like multiple things throughout the day, because there's a lot of things that I am grateful for. I usually do this throughout the night whenever I sit down instead of throughout the day, but I think next year I kind of want to incorporate a morning and a night one. Just really depends, but I am actually almost done with this. I think I have like less than 5 pages left. I don't use the back just because it's really hard with like, I don't like bindings like this because it's hard to, what's it called? Yes, it kind of lays flat, but I am picky. But yes, I really like it. It has a little quote and a sunflower on each page. It's so cute. Very grateful I have it, and I love that I turned it into a gratitude journal. And then again, I have this planner. I'm not going to open this to the pages, but this is my, excuse me, my planner that I use for everyday feelings and stuff like that. Whenever I have my big feelings, or I just need to talk about my anxiety and what I have to do, or just complain, vent, or just say what I'm happy about, I put all my stuff in here. I also do a thing where however long I have this journal, I try to collect like stickers and stuff like that to represent my time with this journal and how much, I don't know, I love collecting stickers too with my friends, so I always stick them here. And then here is usually just like photos and memories. Let's see, like I have memories and stuff like this. Like this is for my cousin's grad party, and I took it with my cousin and my nephew, and I just like throw them in here as well. A little memory box, you know, kind of cute. So then I tried really hard sorry, to do a goal journal. So I have my vision board. I love this journal. Started so strong. And then this is my Kindle insert that I had. It was a little blurry, so I ended up reprinting it. I put the year 2025 and the things that I kind of wanted to bring into the year. So like joy, kindness, generosity, less judgment, financial abundance, abundance just in general, gratitude, creativity, trust, self-love, self-awareness, confidence, respect, luck, and love. And then I did this thing called the 12 Magical Nights about the 12 goals I really wanted to focus on, or was it 13? And the one that it told me to focus on the most is my creativity and not allowing myself to be judged, which is why I'm actually posting these videos too. So once that happens, everything else that I have wished for would probably, well, not probably, it's supposed to fall into place too, because I'm following, you know, I just need to trust the universe. That's basically it. Like once you focus on the thing that they want you to focus on, just trust that everything else is being covered, because I'm always working towards it, you know? So these are my vision boards, and then I kind of broke down like my 2025 goals. I haven't really gone through or listed it, or like I haven't really gone through it actually. And then I put like my sinking fund goals, and then my quarter one goals. I tried to like do goals and action plans, and then a recap. And then I kind of used it as a commonplace journal, and I realized I needed a commonplace journal. So I kind of attended webinars and stuff like that, especially regarding like social justice and the things that we could do to help, I guess, help the community and take care of one another and actually understand how our institutions aren't working for us, kind of thing. What can we do as a society and with each other to help uplift one another? So I've been attending those webinars a lot more, and I kind of been taking notes about stuff like that. And then I had like my goals and plans, reviews, I had them all laid out, and then stuff was just not working. And as you can tell, like I was doing these and it just wasn't working. I ended up putting like my goals and how I wanted to do my projects and my careers and all that stuff. And then actionable steps. I wasn't really the best with it. And I want to somehow incorporate this within the next few months and carry it into next year, because my creative projects are very important to me. So I'm probably going to have to fill this out. And then I had a day where I was watching a YouTube video and I was like, you know, I need to set myself up for success. So what is like my ideal morning routine and my ideal night routine? And I think if I were to incorporate the habits, these are the things that I need to focus on. I think one of the things I really, really want to focus on bringing into the next year is breath work and doing stretches, because I will lift weights and I forget to stretch. And then these were like my journal ideas about what I'm going to do and incorporate. I was actually going to move everything into my traveler's notebooks, my passport and my standard size. And honestly, that was a no-go. I thought I would love the idea behind it, but I don't. They have their own uses, and that's fine. And then the last page, which I'm not going to turn to, I wrote a letter to myself at the beginning of the year, and then I'm going to read it on the last day of the year. But yeah, this is like my goals journal turned everything else. And then, crazy enough, I had a manifesting and budgeting journal. So this is like, half of it is just my manifestations, and then the rest is like budgeting, like what have I done with budgeting that I liked and did not like. I did not really do a good job incorporating it. And then I have an ideas and brainstorming one. So this is where I've been writing all like my plans when it comes to like gifts, when it comes to like video ideas, stuff like that. So that is tucked away in here, and I do need more space. Maybe I will put it inside this journal to fill this up. And then shout out Malcolm. He got me this, and I put I think this is a tiger's eye. I put this as a charm. This was supposed to be like a productivity one, and it was going to hold everything, but I needed to allow myself just to have fun with the journal, because everything else is kind of turning back into writing. And I decided this is going to be my junk journal. I bought this little insert so I could house some stuff. And yeah, this has been my little junk journal that I've been doing. I'm trying not to put too much pressure on myself. I just want to do the things that I want to do in terms of how I want the layout and stuff, but like not think too much about it, because this is supposed to be fun. So I've been putting things that I've done. I still need to do 2 more pages, but that's probably when I print out the next set of September Hobonichi photos. I usually do these the same time I do my 5-year ones, just because I print them all at the same time at the library. And then yeah, pretty much all I've done in these, and they're really cute, they're really fun, and I love them. They're just so fun to look back on, and just, I don't know, I love her, love her, love her. And yeah, that's pretty much it for journals. I also have, let me see if I can reach it. I do have a journal for studying astrology. I have another journal inside my closet, but I switched to a Midori, and honestly, I like the Midori. It's a flat lay, but I don't think I'd like this as a planner, like the paper wise either. I don't think I'd like it as a planner. It's a little too thick for me, but as a notebook, I actually really like it. So yeah, so this is where I've been studying astrology, and these are like more in depth compared to my previous journals. Okay, before we get into this, I completely forgot about the things that I've learned about this year when it came to my journals. I realized I like all my stuff together, hence why I got this one. I love that I'm trying to be resourceful and figure out, you know, how I'm going to fill out like my journals. Like these, I kind of just mesh them all together. I'm not too mad about that. I actually like that I'm filling up space. And what do I not like about it? I think pretty much I don't like that my vision board and my goals aren't with my planner, because my planner did have some actionable steps towards these goals, and I kind of want them all together at this point. And I didn't think that I needed a commonplace journal, and now I realize that I do. So yeah, all of that just to say that I switched into a Hobonichi Teco Weeks Mega. I was actually debating between this and a sterling ink, and I decided just to go with this as the OG one first, and then decide if I really like this or I need another size. Maybe next year I'll try sterling ink. Also, this is cheaper than sterling ink. Yeah, it got a little pricey, so I can't really do it. But I already opened this, but I'm gonna open this again with you because I forgot to get the cover and now I have to buy one. I've always wanted red for some reason, and I never liked the, what is it called? The other one. This is just a regular paper. The other one felt like more cardboardy, like a book, like an actual, like, let me see. Like it felt like this when I held my friend's journal, like a little bit more stiffer. I didn't really like that. And I just really like this. I also chose the Mega because you do have 100 something, I think, or 200. Let me see, 200 something, 218 pages of just pure paper behind, and I thought that was perfect. I think that could hold enough. I do write quite small anyways, so my goal with this, and I also really love that it flat lays. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm excited to start this in December because I'm just gonna alleviate everything else that I've used and completely switch to this. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna touch anything here, but I do think here's when I'm gonna start doing like the budgeting stuff. I'm just gonna write what I've spent and stuff like that, and then at the end of the year I'll probably like total it and look and I guess reassess month to month kind of situation. I just love how thin these papers are. I know people have been complaining that it's not up to par as previous versions, but I've never had previous versions, so I'm okay. I love this layout. I love having half to-do list, half whatever the hell I want. And these are going to be habit trackers. It's going to be like me planning my lunches, my dinners and stuff like that, because sometimes I'll forget that I have an item, my shopping list, all that, which is also why I wanted this size, just because I can put it in my bag, easy peasy. And then I also really like the moon phases. I think that's so cute. I am an astrology girly, so I love that. Yeah, I'm very big on weeklies. Pretty much all to-do list, easy peasy. Same stuff as usual. I could also put my brain dumps here, so I'm not too mad about it. I honestly don't know what these are for, so I haven't really researched it, so we'll see. But these are so cute. Anyways, when it comes to the back pages, I will say that I am going to print out my vision board. I'm not going to do what I did this time where I did too many photos. I think I'm going to put like a couple big ones here and here. It's not going to be too crazy, and then I will put like the goals that I have for this year. I listed a lot, which was kind of insane, and I think I'm just going to list like maybe 10 goals for the year. And then all of this is going to be split between pretty much my, let's see, my goals manifesting, budget reviews, goals reviews, and pretty much my content creation planning and commonplace. Commonplace has been just like my ideas and content creation stuff. So it's all going to be housed into here, and I'm very excited about it. The only journal that I don't necessarily know what I'm going to do once it's over is my gratitude journal. I am debating if I want to get a sterling ink notebook, but it did sell out, and I'm like, I kind of just want to decide if I want to get something from Jet Pens and call it a day, or I'll just get another, I don't know how to pronounce it, and I've had them forever, Leuchtturm, like whatever, but one of those journals and call it a day, because if it's not a nice journal, the chances of me not writing in it is going to be very high, and I don't want to waste another journal. And then I think after I finish like my tarot journal and stuff like that, I will turn that passport journal into something else. I don't think I'm gonna keep log of my readings that I've received. I've done it for a while, but I've fallen out of love with it, and it's just not for me anymore. And then yeah, I don't know. Still thinking about the gratitude journal. I was thinking about mixing, let me see, my gratitude journal from here into here, just so I could write more again, because around my birthday I stopped journaling almost every day, and that is something that I want to get back into. But I think I would hate it if I put this into here, so I think I might get a separate journal for this again. I don't know, we'll see. But I'm still, you know, thinking this through. Before now, this looks like this is going to be the ideal 2026 planner. This is quite pricey, I will say, but the thing that I have told myself is that I am someone who uses my stuff, so this is totally okay. And this is going to help me figure out if I like this or if I need something a little bigger. Yeah, and if I'll stick to Hobonichi still. I'm very excited to see how the 2026 journal will look like, my planners will look like, and how everything will come together. And I will probably do some flip throughs. If you have any suggestions or any questions, let me know, especially when it comes to the gratitude journal. How was your experience with Hobonichi? Like, let me know. I'm down to listen. I'm down to learn. But thank you for staying with me for this long. This is quite lengthy, and I do appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye bye.